You have now entered the mindful opinion of Illicit 420, where reason and question merge. Hello, everyone. I'm Mark Maddock, and on this episode of Illicit 420, we will focus on unknown aerial phenomena, formerly known as UFOs. Are the objects spirits, alien ships, earthly sky creatures, or worse? For those who would like to view my UFO videos and photos while listening to this podcast, please visit Instagram under the username ufos.uap. Have you ever looked up into the sky and noticed an object or light which appeared unfamiliar to your understanding of flight? Since childhood, you have witnessed helicopters and airplanes traversing overhead. The flight patterns are usually the same, and you know what a plane looks like, chemtrails and all. Surely you are familiar with the sound of a jet's engine, or the vibrating blades of a helicopter, right? However, what are UAPs/UFOs? Let us first break down the title. A UAP is the acronym for Unknown Aerial Phenomena. Simultaneously, it also can be used to describe the uptight asshole politicians who want to cancel the UFO title. As many of you already know, the acronym UFO means Unidentified Flying Object. Both meanings are basically the same thing. We can see something, but we don't know what it is we see. The first unknown aerial phenomenon we will explore are the orbs, okay? Have you ever seen an orb in the sky or in your house? Many people believe these orbs are ghosts of friends and even loved ones, which is a topic for another discussion. With that being said, orbs are a documented matter. In fact, if you research the word orbs on an internet search engine, you will find thousands of photos and videos of them. Curiously, the orbs which are photographed or recorded as ghosts always appear similar to the orbs filmed in the sky. Why is that? Ranging from an inch to a multitude of sizes, these orbs have been here for a long time. There are orbs within petroglyphs painted within certain caves. There also is a 16th century woodcut called Nuremberg UFO by Hans Glacier. It depicts at sunrise on April 14, 1561, the citizens of Nuremberg beheld, and I quote, "a very frightful spectacle. The sky appeared to fill with cylindrical objects from which red, black, orange, and blue, white discs and globes emerged. Crosses and tubes resembling cannon barrels also appeared, whereupon the objects promptly began to fight one another. After about an hour of battle, the objects seemed to catch fire and fell to earth, where they turned to steam. The witnesses took the display as a divine warning." End of quote. A divine warning. To me, the battle was reminiscent of Michael casting out the dragon and his angels from heaven. That must have been one crazy ass sighting. Documenting my unsettling encounter, I could not help but think of fallen angels, as a multitude of orbs traversed the night sky above. One of the clearest sightings I experienced, and luckily enough to record. Leaving a friend's apartment building, my wife and I saw a fleet of UFOs. When I initially saw the lights, I was still in the building's foyer, wondering why there was a traffic light in front of my friend's building, which I knew there was none. Upon exiting the lobby, I asked my wife can she see the objects above, in which she replied she did see the lights. Okay, it wasn't the weed I just smoked. So I took out my phone and began recording. I then asked my wife to get my friend so he could see the event as well. The lights were traveling slowly from east to west, and I assumed he could make it outside in time to marvel at the orbs, as I surely was doing. Suddenly, my friend yells out, "What the fuck is that, Chanel?" And I replied, "That is a UFO." And the rest of the story you can see on video for yourself. Once again, for those who would like to view my UFO videos and photos while listening to this podcast, please visit Instagram under the username ufos.uap. I own about 5 cameras, including my phone, 2 binoculars, and a telescope. I also own 2 big-ass pair of binoculars. I love looking at the sky, period. And when I see a cloud or anything that entices my attention in the sky, I take a picture and I add it to my collection of photos. The sky is a visual book of wonder for me, and I enjoy it. I also take various photos of different things, for instance, like a rusting, tireless bicycle rim chained to a street pole. Weird, just out of the ordinary type of things that grab my eye, I'm going to take a picture of. I also like the structural technique of certain buildings as well. I have a drafting background, so these shapes and of various buildings, they attract my attention. The camera, however, captures what my human eyes can't see. If you were to try the following technique yourself, you will find many abnormalities in your photos. Take multiple pictures of the same location in the sky, and you can find an object once you review the images. There is a lot of zooming involved, but once your curiosity kicks in, that's it, you will find something. It is a similar process the astronomers use to discover new comets and meteors. We just simply have to look at the image one quadrant at a time. So, if you have the spare time, give it a shot. The most interesting aspect of the unknown aerial phenomena are probably the witnesses of an encounter. Why do we see them at all? Why can some people see them and others don't? The orbs are not angels from God, because when God wants us to meet one, well, if memory serves me right, the angel is in human form, a being familiar to our perception. For me, that begs the question, what if the orbs are the fallen angels? If so, are the witnesses destined to go to hell? If UFOs are the fallen angels, could it be so that the individuals who witnessed them are blotched out of the book of salvation? In addition, are the individuals who suffer night terrors and the Hat Man bounded to this same energy? Are UFO witnesses condemned souls who will forever, at the end, suffer together? If so, I too am on this list of the damned, because night terrors and I go way back, not to mention my UFO sightings over the years. And am I wrong for showing my sightings on the internet? Am I condemning more souls because of my video exposure? Man, what if the orbs are of terrestrial origin? In the scientific community, the orbs are known as fireballs or a ball of lightning. You can use whatever terminology you want, but what is lightning? What is energy? I discovered other orbs in photos of family gatherings and other energetic events, but none will outdo the night I thought I witnessed the angels falling from grace. Speaking of energetic events, an aggressive encounter with a sphere containing a cube is rather interesting. One of two pilots described the object appeared to be a cube within an energy sphere. The object disrespected the Navy pilots during their head-to-head encounter, clearly not worried about hitting the jets. The object dominated their airspace, causing both pilots to veer out of the way. What the fuck does that? And don't tell me another country is behind the orbs. You know that's bullshit, just like I know that's bullshit, because if they spend millions of dollars to create this damn thing, they wouldn't just risk it crashing into a foreign jet. The arrogance of the sphere cube was troubling to me. It reminded me of a cage, a jail. What if the cube within the sphere was transporting trapped human souls to a designated destination? Yeah, you're the mindful opinion of Illicit 420 now. Was the energy sphere a force field protecting the cube? Well, what's in the cube? Is the cube a container? Speaking of that, a time ago on the internet, I read that Grace thought of humans as containers. Could the cube contain stolen human souls? And if so, why? Are they inserting, or rather reinserting, the extracted souls into their twisted version of simulation? Are we now stuck within this said simulation? It's deja vu reminding me that I'm a recycled soul. Man, I smoke that good shit. It makes me think too much. Too much. But on the serious tip, what if the cause of the unknown objects in the sky is actually us, humans? Is it possible a person's emotional state can create an energetic projection field of some sort, disrupting time-space on a local scale? Like, say, a light in the sky, a UFO, a portal during sleep paralysis allowing the dark shadow or the Hat Man entrance? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Man-made UFOs seen by many are also another type of unknown aerial phenomenon, because many believe the inhabitants are extraterrestrial. However, during the early 40s, the Nazis created UFO-like vehicles. During Operation Paperclip, the knowledge gained by the Nazis became American wisdom. Our country also created UFOs. Should I mention the Canadian Avro car program, which after a successful test flight of 50,000 feet and who knows what speed, suddenly the program was shut down. Why? Why was the program canceled? Who do they think they actually fooled? Another aspect for critical thought could be the UAPs are a warning the viewer should question their reality. Could it be possible the UFOs are seen by humanity to question the nature of reality? Most, if not all, unknown objects maneuver in unusual ways, breaking the laws of physics as we know them. Or could it just be that ignorance overrules the full extent of known physics, limiting our capabilities? It still begs the question, how is that possible? How can an object move in a manner which is simply unknown to our understanding? Questions a critical thinker should ask themselves. Don't listen to the government and their breakdown of the situation. The government is at a standstill when it comes to UAPs/UFOs. They cannot do a damn thing against the unknown phenomena. And in the event of a physical alien invasion, we must fight tooth and nail to survive, because the government must protect the government first, not the people. So, I advise you to get your aluminum bat and slingshot before they're sold out. Another aspect of the unknown aerial phenomenon could be the visual effect created by the atmosphere. The same visual effect which makes us see the moon bigger. There is a scientific name for it, but you know what I'm talking about. Could this process cause our consciousness and this aerial energy to meet? Are the UFOs aware of our witnessing them through a means of a cerebral connection, a mental radar, a connected consciousness? Could that be why they stay far off in the distance? What is vision? Is it not an upside down world? Maybe we should study the aerial phenomena in reverse. Study the readings of the human brainwaves as the person is reciting their experience, and locate that corresponding wavelength in the atmosphere or location of sighting. Who knows what can happen? But on the other hand, is that what Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard accomplished during their ritual? How many of you are familiar with the term sky creatures? There is an old UFO documentary entitled UFOs Are Real, found on YouTube, and there is a short segment about sky creatures. It was immediately after the portion mentioning Uri Geller, the guy who mines bends the spoons. The documentary briefly discusses a carnivorous sky creature. Well, the documentary opened my curiosity to the possibility of sky creatures. Not to mention the astronaut who stated he saw a sky snake or space snake. However, as the years passed, the thought slowly sank into the back of my mind. Then, on 3 separate occasions, I had my experience with sky creatures. My first experience with the abnormalities was more like an identification, meaning that in my mind, I understood this sighting to be an identification by the actions of what I witnessed. Unfortunately, I could not record this sighting. I presently work remotely. However, when I witnessed this event, I was on location at the firm, located on the 33rd floor of a building on 42nd Street in New York City. Having recorded other sightings at this very location, I was always on alert whenever I walked near a window. So as I did, I noticed a reflective light rotating in the sky. It was about 2 p.m., and I just got back from lunch. I rushed back to my desk and retrieved a monocular to see the object up close. Upon focusing the view, I noticed the object was a number 4 celebratory balloon with a reflective reverse side. Suddenly, out of thin air, 3 white transparent orbs curiously surrounded the rotating balloon. It seemed like the objects wanted to know what the balloon was, as though the balloon invaded their airspace. In comparison, if the balloon was 24 inches long, and the orbs were about 4 to 6 inches in diameter. In my mind, I was familiar with how the orbs moved. The objects appeared to move curiously around the balloon like fish. The objects did not resemble fish, don't get me wrong, but their synchronized movement gave me the impression of how curious fishes investigate something in the water. The white, almost transparent orbs seemed alive. They weren't just floating around. They were not ships, they were not aliens. They simply appeared as though they lived in our atmosphere. What if the UAPs are a living species inhabiting our sky? Camouflage is a defense for many species on Earth. Maybe, just maybe, the sky creatures have the same ability, since they might be of atmospheric origin. Similar to a petri dish containing specimens, our sky seems to harbor quite a few abnormalities. In another sighting, also uploaded to Instagram under the username ufos.uap, I saw 3 white spheres spinning counterclockwise and taking turns fading in and out of sight, high above the Chrysler Building on 42nd Street, like a hypnotic dance performed for potential witnesses, and I was one of them. But the most astounding sky creature I captured on film from my desk on the 33rd floor was rather unique. Also posted on Instagram, I uploaded the original photos and the close-ups of the objects. I also changed the contrast so the image can pop out, and it surely did. It appeared to show an alien gray overlooking Midtown from the interior of this cloud-like creature. The sky creature appeared as a moving cloud whale. I don't know what else to say, it looked like a whale. It could have been a vehicle to appear as a cloud as well, but it just looked more alive than a vehicle. And it just stood out to me since it was the only white object in the sky. I mean, the sky was clear blue and it was the only thing there. It was just there. So I took the photos with the 30 times zoom digital camera that I had at my desk at the time in preparation of such an event. Anyway, the detail within this photo is pretty amazing. It appeared to show the fins or appendages of this cloud whale. In the photos, it appears the wings or flippers have bones, and the contrasted images I created look like an X-ray. You can find all the images on my Instagram account. Although many individuals ignore the existence of unknown aerial phenomena, they are here, and possibly an inhabitant of the sky. I, like many of you, have experienced seeing a UFO and a sky creature or two, and if you haven't, you can if you go visit my Instagram account under username ufos.uap. Enjoy. The merge is now complete. You are now exiting the mindful opinion of illicit 420. Until next time, stay on point and be safe.